Pollution is the introduction of harmful materials into the environment. These harmful materials are called pollutants. Pollutants can be natural, such as volcanic ash. They can also be created by human activity, such as trash or runoff produced by the factories. Pollutants damage the quality of air, water, and land.
Types of pollution. Air pollution. Air pollution is defined as any contamination of the atmosphere that disturbs the natural composition and chemistry of the air. Air pollution comes from a wide variety of sources. Some of the most excessive sources include vehicle or manufacturing exhaust, forest fires, volcanic eruptions, dry soil erosion, and other natural sources, building construction or demolition. Depending on the concentration of air pollutants, several effects can be noticed. Smoke increases, higher rain acidity, crop depletion from inadequate oxygen, and higher rates of asthma. Many scientists believe that global warming is also related to increased air pollution.
Water pollution. Water pollution involves any contaminated water, whether from chemical, particulate, or bacterial matter that degrades the water's quality and purity. Water pollution can occur in oceans, rivers, lakes, and underground reservoirs. And as different water sources flow together, the pollution can spread. Causes of water pollution include increased sediment from soil erosion, improper waste disposal and littering, leaching of soil pollution into water supplies, organic materials decay in water supplies. The effects of water pollution include decreasing the quantity of drinkable water available, lowering water supplies for crop irrigation, and impacting fish and wildlife populations that require of water of certain purity for survival.
Soil pollution. Soil or land pollution is contamination of the soil that prevents natural growth and balance in the land, whether it is used for cultivation, habitation, or wildlife preserve. Soil pollution sources include hazardous waste and sewage spills, not sustainable farming practices such as the heavy use of inorganic pesticides, strip mining, deforestation, and other destructive practices, household dumping and littering. Soil contamination can lead to poor growth and reduced crop yields, loss of wildlife habitat, water and visual pollution, soil erosion, and desertification.
Noise pollution. Noise pollution refers to undesirable levels of noises caused by the human activity that disrupt the standard of living in the affected area. Noise pollution can come from traffic, airports, railroads, manufacturing plants, construction or demolition, concerts.
Radioactive pollution. Radioactive pollution is rare but extremely detrimental and even deadly when it occurs. Because of its intensity and the difficulty of reversing damage, there are strict government regulations to control radioactive pollution. Sources of radioactive contamination include nuclear power plant accidents or leakage, improper nuclear waste disposal, uranium mining operations. Radiation pollution can cause birth defects, cancer, sterilization, and other health problems for human and wildlife populations. It can also sterilize the soil and contribute to water and air pollution.
Light pollution. Light pollution is the overall illumination of an area that is considered obtrusive. Sources include large cities, billboards and advertising, nighttime sporting events and other nighttime entertainment. Light pollution makes it impossible to see stars, therefore interfering with astronomical observation and personal enjoyment. If it is near residential areas, light pollution can also degrade the quality of life for residents.
Most contaminated places. Norilsk, Russia. This city above the Arctic Circle retains the world's largest metal smelting complex and, therefore, its place on this list due to terrible air pollution. As a result of the haze, trees do not grow within 30 kilometers of the city, found only in the 1930s. The bad air is also not good for people and life expectancy. In the city of 135,000 people, is 10 years below the Russian average.
Niger River Delta, Nigeria. The global addiction to oil has turned the Niger River Delta into a sacrifice zone. This densely populated region of roughly 70,000 square kilometers has been polluted with petroleum since the 1950s, and at least 240,000 barrels of crude oil have been spilled into the delta each year, with attendant impacts on fishing, the ability to grow crops in the swamplands, and human health. People are breathing in a toxic mix and it's gotten into the food chain, noted David Hanrahan, Blacksmith Chief Technical Advisor.
Río Matanza Riachuelo, Argentina. This 60-kilometer long river basin in Buenos Aires is home to at least 15,000 small industries that pollute the river. As a result, soil along the banks has high concentrations of heavy metals. For example, chromium can be found at an average level of 101,041 parts per million, or more than 900 parts per million higher than regulated levels in the US. The heavy metals also contaminate the drinking water for at least 20,000 people. The problem is fundamentally an inadequate infrastructure, said David Hanrahan, the Blacksmith Institute's chief technical advisor. He added some hope, though, noting that the World Bank is funding a major project there that will help the city of Buenos Aires deal with its problem in probably a matter of decades.
Kalimantan, Indonesia. Here's how millions of small-scale miners get gold around the world. Liquid mercury is added to ore. The mercury forms an amalgam with the gold that it is then burned off, releasing mercury into the air as small quantities of pure gold are left behind. Such artisanal gold mining is the second largest source of mercury pollution in the world, after coal-fired power plants, and it is the reason this area of Borneo is included in the list. More than 1,000 metric tons of mercury enter the environment each year, despite the fact that mercury is a known brain poison, accumulating in water and fish.
Kabwe, Zambia. The second largest city in the southern African country was home to one of the continent's largest lead smelters as well as ubiquitous lead mines that have contaminated the entire city in lead dust. Young men still mine the laughter lead ore for profit, releasing yet more of the toxic heavy metal. As a result, some children in Kabwe have lead levels as high as 200 micrograms per deciliter, or 40 times higher than the safe limit proposed by the U.S. Centers of the Disease Control. The average blood concentration is between 50 and 100 micrograms per deciliter. The city remains on the most polluted list because very little is being done, noted Jack Carabanos, Blacksmith Research Director.